I personally wouldn't mind snitching on them because they're a horrible person.
All right, this is our first time checking out Bugzy Malone. We're starting with Welcome to the Hood. Let's get into it.
Oh, this is new.
I was thinking the
March
same thing. I'm
18th.
like, they got the COVID stuff.
Right. What?
And I look down there, I'm like, 2021.
A face mask.
Oh, this is new.
Yeah, this is March 18th, so it just came out like a week and a half ago.
Dang. I guess that's a good place to start. Because sometimes when we start too far back, like in an artist's career, you don't like it. Which is normal.
True. I'd be like, ugh, this is slow.
And I say welcome to the hood, welcome to the hood, welcome to the place where nothing ever ends up good. And they say that you're a disgrace if you can't find yourself a job. Around here there's either been a drought and then there's been a flood. No one ever built an ark for anybody from the block. Man are trying to ring the heavens but God never gets in touch. For certain people it's a must to come across.
Hold
I
up,
like
hold
it.
up.
Okay.
Hold up.
This guy looks like Loki.
I need to hear that Noah's Ark part again.
Self a job. Around here there's either been a drought and then there's been a flood. No one ever built an ark for anybody from the block. Man are trying to ring the heavens but God never gets in touch. For certain people it's a must to come across as tough because you don't want to be a victim.
Okay. You hear that? So there's been a drought and then there's been a flood. No one's ever built an ark for anyone in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole Noah's Ark thing. And then a drought would be like a famine too.
Yeah.
You go from a famine to a flood.
But I mean, okay, to be fair, most people in the hood don't have the materials to build an ark. I'm just saying.
What?
I'm just saying. This.
It's metaphorical.
Okay, got it.
But are you saying it metaphorically?
Well, obviously they're not building a literal ark. But
Right.
I'm saying even metaphorically speaking,
Right.
he's like, nobody's ever built an ark, you know. But it's more complicated than that because like the
It
ark
is.
builder would be the one who created the hood.
No,
You know what I mean?
the ark builder would be the one who needs it.
What?
The person who have to build the ark is the person who needs the ark.
Right,
Because
right.
let's be honest, you could
Right.
try and put someone on, you could do a lot of things for people,
Right.
and you can get some relief, but you can't force growth. And to get out of
Right,
any
right.
situation in your life, whether you're in the hood or wherever the hell you are, you know what I mean? You need to grow out of that situation, and no one can grow for you.
Right. But I'm saying...
But
he's
people could
saying
do things to help.
Right. He's saying it like, you know, people, like basically powers that be, like we pay a lot in taxes. Like taxes could probably help a lot of hoods. But the thing is, they're never going to do it because they are the reason why the hood is the hood.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I say.
And they could help, but like, they can only help so much. That's what I'm saying. Because
Yeah.
we have to help ourselves, basically.
Because...
They could provide some relief for sure,
Right.
some much needed relief. But if you want to make it out, I feel like that has to be a personal thing.
Yeah, it does.
And then the relief and the programs and stuff like that, that could help.
Yeah, for sure.
It could definitely help.
Heavens, but God never gets in touch. For certain people it's a must to come across as tough because you don't want to be a victim when Berettas start to bust. And I say welcome to the hood, welcome to the hood where no one teaches you to love because we're all products of lust. We learn to tell a lie before we even learn to trust, and then we see our people die as if the sorrow ain't enough.
Hold up. Okay, I like this Bugzy Malone guy. He said no one learns to love because we're all products of lust. I'm like, ooh, you know what I mean? It's like, I bet single parent rate is higher in the hood. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you see the statistics. We know that like it's higher per race and this and that, whatever. But I bet it's each race, as the income goes down, I bet it's higher. Well, we know the wealthier people get divorced less. And we've looked that up before.
Right.
So like we know that. So it would have to be a higher rate.
That's a really interesting way to say that. I
Right.
like that. I like that. It flows off the tongue.
Right.
But it's so true. Then he said, he's like, we learn to lie before we learn to trust.
We learn to tell a lie before we even learn to trust, and then we see our people die as if the sorrow ain't enough. So-and-so killed so-and-so, I struggle to keep up. A victim of knife crime, they hit him in the lung. The press are making articles expressing their disgust, but where there's no opportunity, survival is a must. And I say welcome to the hood.
Okay, so that lie before we learn to trust, is that about like no snitching or something?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like he wasn't being like truly
Too literal?
literal. I feel like he was just saying that lying is more important in like survival. Like lying is more like in that environment, lying is more important than like trusting. Like trusting will
Right.
get you killed, but being able to lie properly will save your life.
True, true. Because he went right into like people getting killed right after that. I was like, oh, is the lie part about not snitching? Like you probably learn to not snitch if you're from the hood before you learn to trust.
Right.
Because you can't really trust too much.
Because I mean, I bet when you're little, it starts out, you're 6 years old, 8 years old, you're hungry, you steal something from the convenience store. You're not going to snitch on your friend, cause they, you know what I mean? Because they might, you know what I'm saying?
Or like Rich was talking about in that Fire in the Booth 3.
Yeah.
He's like something with his uncle, no snitching on our shit. His father would have killed him.
He'll be the
You know what I
anchor
mean?
for the
And he was
scene,
super
yeah.
young.
Yeah.
That whole part.
Yeah.
So I bet even not just petty stuff like convenience, but probably family stuff too. Like you learn, you better keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
You might have to lie. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know who that is. I don't know where they are. You know what I mean? You lying, but you got to.
We know some people who was stealing from the electric, like Jimmy rigged their electric and stuff like that. And it's like I personally wouldn't mind snitching on them because they're a horrible person.
Yeah, we're not in the streets.
We're not in the streets, but it's like in poverty, you start to like meet people who have done things or will do things that like you don't even think about when you're not in a poverty. You know what I mean? Like it's like being in certain environments, you start to meet those people.
You said I personally wouldn't mind snitching.
Right.
on them.
Some people deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Some people break all the codes, and they
Just
don't.
the way you said that.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't mind snitching on that.
You know what I'm saying? Florida Electric, if you got any questions. And I'm just kidding.
Like these are some people who have transgressed against us.
Very
We're
much
actually
so.
in court with them right now.
Right now.
And these people deserve it. But we probably never will. It probably will never go that far.
Right.
Clothes expressing their disgust, but where there's no opportunity, survival is a must. And I say, welcome to the hood, welcome to the hood, where boredom leads to depression, depression leads to drugs, and drugs numb the pain of all the fucked up stuff that you have to see when you're forced into growing up. Nobody's responsible, everybody's corrupt, and school's a waste of time, cause we're learning out of books. And when you're academic, you get taken for a mug, cause mathematics won't help when you're in a puddle of blood. And I say, welcome to the hood, welcome to the hood. Feels like the only thing that ever sells is the dust. We try and keep it clean, but the stress builds up, and it was all a dream until Biggie got shot.
Welcome to the place that
Dang. Okay, Bugzy is cold.
Yeah.
This man is cold. It was all a dream. You know that song, the Biggie song, right?
Oh, okay.
I know you don't know too many Biggie
I
songs.
don't,
You know
but
that
I
one.
get the
though.
reference. Yeah.
You know that song. And then the other thing he said was like, something leads to depression, depression leads to drugs. Boredom leads to depression. Depression leads to drugs.
And then somebody keep.
Drugs numb the pain, basically.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is kind of the purpose of drugs, is to numb the pain. You know what I mean? But then you get addicted to them. Certain drugs are gateways to other drugs. Then the drug takes over your life.
Right.
And you become crackhead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you have no control over how you use drugs. It's like you need it. You become a fiend.
And you thought you was poor before drugs.
Right, you were just bored and you were depressed and you just wanted to numb the pain a little bit. Or maybe you had some trauma and you wanted to numb the pain. Maybe you saw someone get shot or stabbed and killed. You know what I mean? You wanted to numb the pain, and now you're on the street doing what you got to do to get crack.
I mean, low key, hoods are like a very sick, brilliant thing. Because I feel like every piece of it relies on another piece. To where it's like, even if you want to get out in one way, let's say you get a decent job, just like in Shiro's story. Get a decent job that can pay your bills so you don't have to sell drugs. But then what happens? Woo woo wop, certain people show up, you know what I mean? You lose your job, or maybe these people are like bullying you, you know, whatever it is, wherever you live. Maybe you need some clout to have people having your back because it's dangerous. Whatever it is, hoods always seem to like fuel more hoods and ghettos. You know what I mean? Like they seem like it's a place that like, I mean, yeah, you're not worried about diet and lifestyle choices.
Right. Like saying mathematics won't help you when you're in a puddle of blood. It's like, yeah, you're probably not too worried about education.
Yeah.
You need street knowledge. You don't need book
Right.
knowledge when you live in that environment.
And street knowledge is very valuable. It's
It
underrated.
is.
Because, I mean, if you take somebody who's never been in the streets and they interact with some people in the streets, they get taken advantage of real quick. So, I mean, yeah, very interesting, for sure.
It was all a dream until Biggie got shot.
welcome to the place that I call home. Be careful, it don't turn your heart to stone. Welcome to the war I'm battling. You live or you die, you lose or you win.
And I say, welcome to the hood. Welcome to the hood. The person they call mental health is the person that we call mum. We either don't have a dad or we have more than one, and we're told to fly the nest before we even learn to run.
Okay, what did he say? Because that first part you understood it, I didn't. The person we call mental
health is the one
we call mom. Okay. And then we either don't have a dad or we have more than one?
Yeah.
So you're saying like the brothers and sisters have different baby daddies?
Right.
That what he's saying there?
I think so. Or like,
Mom dates a lot of dudes.
basically, yeah, she just have a lot of people around. Maybe she's cool with all of them, but.
Probably either or.
Yeah.
Because then it's a whole stereotype, a whole thing that is true a lot of the times. Be like people have different. I mean, we know a ton of people who their kids have different dads.
They call mental health is the person that we call mum. We either don't have a dad or we have more than one, and we're told to fly the nest before we even learn to run. You don't have to be a soldier here to hold a gun, and watching other people suffer is what we consider fun. Cause suffering is standard, you'll have to toughen up. At least that's what your mother tells you when she's fully drunk. People steal for a living and end up in the can. It's miles easier in jail, but you will understand. Being a criminal is not part of the plan, but how are you supposed to work when nobody will take you on? So I say welcome to the hood, welcome to the hood. Depression and anxiety get swept under the rug. These gangsters in your family, welcome to the club, because there's plenty of gangsters in a city full of thugs. Being born into the politics of poverty is rough. You can look down your nose holes, but only God can judge. Most of us are afraid to pray to the above, cause Pac said there ain't no heaven for a thug. Welcome to the hood.
The politics of poverty are rough. That's something I never really think about. Like, I bet, kind of like Akala was saying, absolute power corrupts, and absolute powerlessness does the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? I bet the politics of the hood is probably similar to like the craziness you see in like the elite level politics. I bet it's very similar. Oh, you watch Top Boy. You know all about that.
I know, and
I bet it's very similar to that.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like even if you do everything right, you can just be caught in the wrong. You know what I mean? It's like something leads to like your mom's about to get, like there's a boy on Top Boy, right? His mom's about to get deported. So she has no money. She has no like legality or whatever. And he doesn't want her deported. So what does he do? He starts selling drugs. When he starts selling drugs for some people, that eventually he gets bad with those people. They set him up to where he gets the drugs stolen. But they really took the drugs. So now he owes them. And he can't work for it. But you know what I mean? But he's a kid. So it's like he can't really defend himself in that situation. So they basically manipulated him. And then he starts actually working, selling drugs for somebody. And somebody else finds out where his stash is at. They're like, oh, he's a kid. We can go jump him and take his stash instead of paying for it. So they go and jump him, and they kill his uncle. Not his uncle, but his play uncle, But it's just like he literally is just trying to help his mom not get deported. Dang. And it's like he can't get in good.
Welcome to the hood. Welcome to the place where nothing ever ends up good. And they say they get rid of disgrace if you can't find yourself a job around here. There's either been a drought and there's been a flood.
Welcome to the place that I call home. Be careful, it don't turn your heart to stone. Welcome to the war I'm battling. You live or you die, you lose or you win. They say there ain't no heaven for a thug. Seems like my good ain't ever good enough. Feels like I'm running out of love. You live or you die, you lose or you win. They say there ain't no heaven for a thug. Seems like my good ain't ever good enough. Feels like I'm running out of love. You live or you die, you lose or you win. Welcome to the place that I call home. Careful, it don't turn your heart to stone. Welcome to the war I'm battling. You live or you die, you lose or you win. Lose or you win.
Well, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, the thing that stuck with me the most from this song, other than the fact that like okay, how do you make it out the hood? Like, that's the $1 million question. You know what I mean? Because like part of me is like, there's always going to be poverty. Some people
Right.
gonna get mad when I say that, but I don't see a way around it. There will always be poverty. There will always be the haves and the have-nots. You know what I mean? I think the middle class is the thing that's more illusory. It could easily be 1% of people are rich and 99% are literally in poverty. I think that realistically could happen. What's hard is to keep the middle class alive. That's my opinion. Yeah, it's like how do you?
I mean, that's a tough question because, like, on the one hand, I feel like that's the nature. Like, okay, I could say the nature of capitalism, but also like human nature is some of us are smarter than others. You know what I mean? Some people are they're more advantaged than others. You know what I mean? Even in the wild, I feel like some people, some animals are born with like defects, like all kinds of medical issues, like whatever. You know what I mean?
It's
Like-
normal to have that variance. Like some
Yeah.
people are born better off than other people, whether it's like
Yeah.
in physical capabilities,
Yeah.
mental capabilities, or just environment.
Yeah, and also some people are born psychopaths. It's like when you have those two things are innate, you're gonna have people who are born with the literal, like they take advantage of other people. And these other people are born not to be taken advantage of, but they're just like the perfect.
In a position where they're going to be taken advantage of.
Exactly. And so when you have those two demographics, like at the top of capitalism often is not just like good, average, everyday rich people who worked really hard, whatever. It's psychopaths, you know? Like ahead of all these prisons and stuff, I bet it's a lot of psychopaths and lots of corporations. So it's like those people enjoy like mentally imprisoning the weak.
I don't think every rich person is a psychopath.
No, definitely not. I'm saying it's not the normal, good, hardworking, rich people that are
You're
doing.
talking about the people who control society.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Okay.
like basically there are definitely some people who are extremely like the opposite of impoverished. You know what I mean? Like just extremely
Right.
extremely
Basically, there's some mega billionaire psychopaths. That,
psychos who enjoy
Do crazy
watching
things.
people
Right.
like literally I feel like it's like hoods are like experimental almost. Like they literally enjoy seeing like what kind of chaos they can create. You know? There are names I can mention. I won't. I'm just saying. I feel like it's like to me this isn't something that's gonna be remedied because if people like can't like mentally get themselves out of it, there will always be those people like also trying to keep them in it.
Well,
So.
I don't think poverty can be remedied. But just because a neighborhood isn't wealthy doesn't mean it has to be a hood.
True.
Like we've traveled to some piss
Some
poor places.
That's true.
And these places were safer than safe. It was not a hood. These people are dirt poor.
That's true.
And so I think, like you said,
Way poorer than anything.
the
here.
powers that be that like to control them, I think they do like to experiment, like the crack epidemic and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. Like, these are experiments,
Right.
and
right.
they are creating hoods. You can have poverty without a hood, and yeah, in any poor place, it may be a little less safe than a rich place, but it doesn't have to be like hood level unsafe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that is
Right.
the media, that is the crack epidemic, and who knows what other experiments. The Tuskegee experiments they do, you know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of experiments I feel like the powers that be have done to help create this kind of environment.
That's what it is. Even right now, I feel like the illusion of single motherhood being a good thing is like the sort of draw. You know what I mean? Like modern day, it seems like, you know, getting all women to like totally devalue ourselves sexually and to become a single mom that is sort of relying on that systematic help is like, that's like the thing right now.
I think open borders is an experiment that's going to be horrible for the hood.
Yeah.
When people start flooding in the country by the millions, if they ever do the open borders thing they're trying to push, then where do those people go? And who are they competing with resources for? They're not competing with people in rich neighborhoods for resources.
True.
They're going to be competing with people in the hood for jobs and resources. And I think that's going to make it even more pressure, even more stress, and less money. I think it's going to be a nightmare.
Yep, this was good. He's cool. I like him. And I like how he was like, it wasn't like a like, I don't know. The angle to me did not feel like, you know, woe is me, this sucks so
Right.
bad. It felt like this is our home, but this is what's happening in our home and it's a problem.
This is what day-to-day life is like in the hood.
Yes. And it definitely brought like a relatability to it. Like if you don't experience that, you still can like.
I think that's what he's trying to bring awareness to hood issues, because if you're not from it, you don't know much about it. And you're like, oh, why don't you just get a job, save money, and move out? You know what I mean? That's what you hear things like, you know what I mean?
That's simple for
Right,
us.
but I think that's what he's trying to show people. Like, it's not that easy. It's
And
not
like
that simple.
most songs, when you hear about the hood, it's like shoot 'em up, kill 'em, da da da, my block, da da da. Like it's all like gang stuff. You know what I mean? So that was like a nice way to say it that isn't so ratchet.
Yeah.
I feel like they ratchetify it, and then it's like you totally hear it like, oh, that's cool. I want to live that life, instead of like these are problems and people are suffering, and this is like the life they live that they're trying to get out of. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is more what needs to be on the radio, not glorifying living in the hood.
Yeah.
But, the thing with glorifying living in the hood, I think it's a very insidious thing that kind of can ruin lives in a way. But on the other hand, it's like, well, the glorification isn't really the song. It's kind of how the people perceive it. The guy who wrote the song, like, this is what he was living. It's just his life. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I can't be mad at a man for writing down his life experience and then rapping it. But then it's like all the young people are like, ooh, it's cool. But how can you tell someone you can't share your life
That's
story in a
tricky
rap?
one.
You know what I mean?
Because also it's like sometimes rapping, like you can, I feel like the cool thing about hip hop a lot of times is you can talk about something horrible and make it swaggy and cool and interesting. And it's literally a cultural commentary. But the problem is a lot of people who have never experienced that life, who live like a very plain Jane, basic, simple, not too bad, not amazing life, they look at that like, ooh, that's texture. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's exciting. That's better than just, basic family of 4 dinners every night. Like, so I don't know. I guess you could say it's human nature to find interest in
Drama.
drama.
That's all I have on this one.
All right. Thanks for checking out this video with us. Comment your thoughts below on what you think about this song and what some stuff that stood out to you meant. If there's anything that we missed, let us know. Subscribe to the channel for more. And until next time, that's a wrap.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. We to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know.